Hey there everybody, my name's Trudy, One Grounded Angel. I'm doing a weekly angel card reading video for the week beginning Monday the 27th of January through to the 2nd of February 2020. So let's get started and we'll see what cards are going to come up for us this week, what we need to know about. Fantastic start to the week. Blessing in disguise. So this is a reminder that the things that you wish had gone differently were not meant to go differently and have turned out for the best. So please stop wondering, please stop playing the what if game. It doesn't do any good and it stops you from recognizing the blessing in what you have, because we need to let go of the idea, not only the things that have been taken away from us, but also the idea that they could have been or should have been, could have been something different. One example from my own life is when I was made redundant from a job I really loved. It was a relief in that it was so stressed out. It was really taking a toll on my well-being. The job wasn't right for me anyway, but it had been taken away at a time I wasn't 100% ready. In fact, I was actually in hindsight, but at the time I didn't feel like I was ready. It wasn't on my terms. It was quite abrupt. I was angry in the way it was done. Felt like there was a sense of betrayal there. All of those feelings were totally legitimate and understandable and entirely justified. However, later down the track, I needed to be able to understand it was a blessing in disguise. Even having to go without money for a little while was a blessing in disguise, because that was not a healthy situation for me to be in. There was terrible management, a whole gamut of problems associated with that role. I was better off without it, but I didn't recognize that at the time. So this might be asking you to understand that that thing you didn't get that you thought you should get, that job perhaps, or that relationship that you feel like it should have lasted longer than it did, whatever it is, try to make peace with that idea. The universe knows what it's doing, and even though there is some unpleasantness associated with how things have panned out, you will be better for it in the end. So let's flick to Tuesday. I love this start to the week. It's such a great reminder. Tuesday. Answered prayer. First of all, really love the turquoise in this card. It comes up so rarely. I haven't seen it for a while. On a superficial note. On a deeper note, let's look at how well this aligns with the Blessing in Disguise card, because it is telling you that sometimes the way the universe answers your prayers is not in a way you expected, but it is right. So that could be one meaning. The other meaning could be just reassurance that you are, your prayers have been heard, and your entreaties or whatever it is you've asked or you put out to the universe, it's going to be okay. It just may not be right now, and it may not be in the way you expected. So please don't feel like you're not being heard. You are. Just be open to the solution appearing in a way that you might not have expected. And that sometimes, I remember when I was trying to manifest a relationship, I was sort of, not long after that, well, it was a long period, but at some point on that journey I was plunged into this really dark place, and I didn't understand how it had happened. I'm like, this is not what I wanted. I wanted a happy relationship, but I had to go through, like, all these things started going wrong, inverted commas, in my life, and it just left me, I was really, I was in a dark place, to put it simply, and it took me a long time to understand that I needed to go through that stuff to do the healing so I could be ready for the relationship. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave it at that. Let's go to Wednesday's card. Singing and dancing. We are getting a lot of turquoise in these cards. How interesting. So this card could be best summed up as joy. We had the delight card last week, and we had the enthusiasm one the week before. So there's a bit of a theme here of asking us to have some fun. I know this is not easy when things are really challenging, but we need to remember that we need to be able to find joy even when things are not great, even if it's only tiny windows of it, because if we can't celebrate the blessings, we're not going to be able to attract more blessings. If we are constantly in the cycle of ruminating on how hard life is, which it is, to be fair, but we need to make sure that's not our predominant thought, because we'll attract more experiences that back up that idea. If you constantly believe that everybody's out to get you, I can guarantee you're very likely to attract a whole lot of people who will be out to get you. And even if they're not, you will certainly perceive them as being, which means you could miss out on some sort of connection or meaningful connection or relationship there. So I'm not trying to advocate for being friends with someone who might actually be trying to take advantage. I'm just saying sometimes it's our perception that's off, and that affects what we attract. So returning to this idea of singing and dancing, having more fun, even if it's just 5 minutes, dancing by yourself to Taylor Swift in your living room, that can change the whole day for you. Anything that brings you joy, jumping into puddles with your preschooler, I don't know, whatever it is, just find some opportunity to have some fun. I'm all for singing and dancing in the car, by the way. I think it's fun. I don't care who can see me. Thursday. Interesting. We have 2 cards here from a card deck I particularly love. It's called The Wisdom of the Oracle Divination cards. I can never say that word. Anyway, it's for divining. We have co-create and we have soulmates. This is not a drill. These cards have come up together because they're meant to be read together, I believe. Sometimes when I get 2 cards, I'm like, this could be because this card means this something to some people and this one is more relevant to the others, but I think these 2 are meant to go together. So I've talked a little bit about trying to manifest a relationship. I don't think I've done it in this video, but I certainly have in past videos. And how much of that depends on your partnership with the universe. Last week I talked a lot about how healing from the past is how you co-create things in your life, and could be seen as an extension of that message. So everything we are creating, we need to work with the universe. That does not mean contracting it out to the universe. I want this, you can take care of it. No. You need to, yes, put it out to the universe, share your vision, but you need to do the work. And when it comes to manifesting your soulmate relationships, there's certainly more than one soulmate for all of us. That might involve healing from the past, as I said. The work that you need to do is going to be different for everybody, but healing from the past could be part of it. Adjusting your mindset would certainly be another, making sure you're not holding on to any limiting ideas like there's no good men or women out there, statistics shows a man drought, whatever it is, or any of that nonsense. Just let go of it. I'm too old, I'm too whatever it is. You have to let go of those ideas, because you can't attract something that you don't believe is possible. Even if you think it's still really hard, that's okay. You still have to have some space for hope though. There's actually an article on my website called 8 Reasons You Haven't Attracted Your Soulmate Yet, or haven't met your soulmate yet. So you could try running a search for that on my website, which is www.onegroundedangel.com. It is regularly in the top 5 posts on my blog every month. So I know it's popular, perhaps you've read it before. It talks about some of the ways we can block that. Some of it is in the language we use around relationships, around if you're looking for someone to complete you, that's not a good idea. You need to be able to work at being complete within yourself. You do not need someone else to complete you. You're already complete. The idea of a soulmate is not that they are the other half of your soul. They are simply someone who walks with you, shares a load with you, supports you, you support them. They're not here to make you a better person. You're already a good person on your own. You don't need that. You just need the bonus of having that energy there to help you do the work you're here on this planet to do, and vice versa for what you're doing for them. And that does not mean it has to last forever. In fact, the definition of a successful relationship is not longevity. It doesn't mean to say that some healthy relationships won't last forever, but it's not the be-all and end-all, so please don't get attached to that idea. Anyway, I probably banged on about that enough, but yeah, look, if you want to take these two cards together, it's about attracting or manifesting a soulmate relationship. If you are already in a relationship with your soulmate, you might like to look at how you and your partner can work together to create something new. Maybe you're looking at starting a business together, or I'm not saying you have to do this is just an example, or maybe you want to enter a new chapter where you move to the country or something like that. Looking at how you can work together and with the universe, crucially, to make your goals, your shared goals, happen. Let's go to Friday. I knew that one would take a long time to explain. Cleanse your energy. I spoke about this a little last Tuesday when we had the energy work card, and I talked about the idea of how, basically clearing and maintaining your energy field. Your energy field or your aura is super important because it determines what you are going to attract in part. And so that's why I talk a lot about healing from the past, about healing our wounding, but it's also important to clear the energy on a regular basis. So there are lots of ways you can do this. I talked about trying to avoid it getting clogged up in the first place, when I talked about things like chemicals and that sort of thing. Cleansing your energy is doing things like spending lots of time in nature, particularly at the beach if you can. The salt spray from the water is really good for clearing energy. When you're in nature, if you can, wear bare feet, only if it's safe to do so, of course, which isn't particularly in the Australian bush, I would say, but in your own backyard, hopefully. It just grounds you, it connects you with nature. That can be really good for getting you out of your headspace, when your head's just kind of all over the place. Other ways, things like float therapy can be really good. Crystal healing, I'm not an expert on crystals. Every time I talk about crystals, someone will message me asking me for more information. Please don't ask, I don't know, it's not my bag. I do know clear quartz is excellent for clearing, but that's the extent of it. That's the one I've got there. So you might like to hit up our friend Google on that one if that's your thing. Crystals are not really a big thing for me, but I know for a lot of people they're really powerful. Plants, that's a big one. So African violets are pictured here. I don't know if these are available in other parts of the world. My mum used to have them, so I know they're definitely available in New Zealand. There are lots of plants that can clear the air around you, and they also, by extension, will be clearing your energy. Peace lily is one. I did post a video about this on Facebook recently, or shared a video recently. If you look up the plants that NASA takes into its spacecraft, that will help you, because those are known to have properties for clearing oxygen. I'm going to read you what's on this card. When you release negativity, the answer to your question shines through. So it's reminding you that it's going to be really difficult for you to connect with what the universe is trying to tell you via your intuition, because you're going to be so you're so weighed down by other people's negativity and cynicism, or just so drained from looking after other people. You're not going to really easily be able to access that answer. So whatever it is you're trying to solve at the moment, clearing your energy might be a really important first step to go about making some progress with that. Detach from the situation. So last week was a lot about letting go, and that's a theme that runs through our entire lives, quite frankly. So here it is again. There are two ways to look at this. One way would be about what it is you need to let go of in order to move forward. The other thing would be detaching from the problem. Sometimes we're so close to something that we can't see the woods for the trees, so to speak. If you are turning a problem over endlessly in your mind, not only will you be sleeping not very much, you will also be so enmeshed. It's going to be really difficult for you to discern what is right from what has your mind beaten it up to be. So sometimes you need to detach. That could be moving to a physical location, going out in nature. Obviously, we often get great insights. There's a reason that we often get great ideas in the shower as well. It's not just the water that's cleansing us. It's because we are we are somewhere else. We've removed ourselves from that problem we were thinking about. So it's interesting, because there's been such a theme around goals. I will mention this just briefly. If you are trying to attract a goal or an outcome, perhaps a soulmate relationship, if you are super attached to it, as in if I don't get this thing, my life is not worth living, or I need to have this thing to have value, I need it to define me, you are over-attached. And when you're over-attached to something, there's no room for the universe to send an energy to help you. You're trying to control the process. You're over-attached. So that might be what comes up here, that you need to detach a little bit from it. It's not saying it's not telling you it's wrong to want what you want. It's just saying you might be over-invested with your energy in terms of what you think that is going to deliver for you, or what you are determined that it will deliver for you. You could be trying, that's a sign of an over-control situation. So still want it, but don't be like, I need it now, or that's the only thing that matters in my life. You need to be able to carry on with your life as well, because it's often when we're carrying on with other things. It was when I was developing this business, so to speak, my healing practice, that the relationship came through. I'd stop looking at it. I'd put it out to the universe. I was still doing the work on self-development. I was doing it for myself by that point, to be honest, because it was part of my journey. And my focus was on the business, and that's when the relationship came through. And that is why people say it happens when you least expect it. I know it's frustrating. It used to really do my head in when people would say that to me, but unfortunately sometimes things are cliche because they're true. So let's go to Sunday on that happy note. I don't know if this is actually okay. I was having my doubts about this card deck, but it's come through. Flying free. I unfurl my wings and fly. So I can't help but notice a connection between the idea of detaching. It's the idea of setting yourself free is coming through for that weekend. I talk about grounding a lot. Grounding is important, but sometimes we also need to lighten up a bit. There's a saying that the reason angels have a sense of humour is so that they can fly. They need to be light enough to fly. It's just a saying, because in truth angels don't fly. That's just how we often depict them. So they are often depicted with having wings. They don't fly because they're not humans. They don't need it. They move, through energy. They're not bound by gravity. But anyway, we need the idea of us letting go of what's weighing us down so that we can soar, so that we can move ahead, is a powerful one really for us to think about. So what is weighing you down at the moment? Are you too attached to your problems? Maybe that's what's weighing you down. Are you too attached to how you want things to be? Are you too enmeshed in other people's dramas? That could be because you're spending too much time with the wrong people. It could be because you've got some limiting beliefs around, I need to help other people in order to have value, to receive love from other people. I need to make myself useful, or something like that. It could be that you are just taking life way too seriously. And life is serious, but we also need to be able to have fun, hence the singing and dancing card that came up for Wednesday. So the idea of a little levity, of taking more time for joy is coming through again here. So I would say that's a big theme for this week. And I would also say just shifting our mindset to see the things that we've missed out on as a blessing in disguise, and understanding that things happen when they need to happen, and sometimes while we're looking at other things. So that answered prayer, I think, links quite nicely to what I was just talking about in terms of not being over attached. But yeah, lightening up and cleansing our energy is probably the biggest thing for the week. So thanks everybody. I'll be back next week. That is it for the last week of January and the first couple of days of February. You can always find me via my website, www.onegroundedangel.com, and you can go to the bookings form there if you wish to contact me. On the old Instagram, my handle is @onegroundedangel. That's ONE, not the number one, just written out in words. And you can. I often check my comments. I don't check my DMs very often. I get a lot of weird messages there from men. Less said about that, the better. So I don't check it super regularly. So definitely going via the website is your best course of action, because that brings all the messages to my email. I'm also on Facebook. My page is called One Grounded Angel, and I do try to check comments on there pretty regularly too. Thanks everybody. Have a fantastic week.